Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin RAPHAEL, also pronounced Ralph. If you are on the internet, apparently, people seem to not be able to get that right. I don't know why. This is, I'm just going to put this out there right now. Don't leave after I say this because you're going to want to see the review, but this is, at least based on my first impressions, easily a contender for Figure of the Year. One of the best things I've handled or looked at this year. There's so much going on with this release that is exactly how things should be done across the board for every company. It's like action figure 101 type of thing. This is just the way you should do things. NECA fired on all cylinders with this. Whoever designed this figure and put this figure together and did everything cared about what the heck they were doing. This is excellent. It's not perfect. We'll talk about some stuff, but dang, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, let's take a look at my package. I do think it's a decent enough front. I don't think they've had the strongest posing. I mean, for the characters, the Karai one was okay. It's fine. It's just not, I think the photos could, or the images could be a little better. Not quality-wise, just pose-wise. For my taste, that's purely subjective because I have to say stuff. But it's still fine. It looks good. There's the side. We can see that on all of them. And then on this side, it's part of the, I guess, what do you call that? What do you call it when there's a big bunch of photos that come together to make a photo? I can't think of it. But there's some photos back there. And then we have another photo here. Okay, so one thing I want to mention before I put this away is on all of the artwork that we get from NECA for this line, the turtles and the different characters look different than the figures. And I don't know which is accurate to the true source material. Is this the way their heads look? Or is this the way their heads look? That's a different look. It's close, but it's a little different. This has a little bit more of that cartoon triangle shape. This has a little bit more of that round shape. Let me know what you guys think is more accurate. Okay, so cool box, but the figure is way cooler, so let's look at that. This guy stands roughly, we'll just call it 6 inches. I think he's a touch over. That's gonna make him about 15.5 centimeters. Here he is up against Darwin. Darwin is taller, so you could easily mix this guy in with your 1/12 collection if you wanted to. All right, question of the day. Is this not the best a Ninja Turtle has ever looked? Character design-wise? I mean, this thing just exudes badassness, if you ask me. I'm guessing some of you hate all the armor and stuff and you prefer your naked turtles, but let me know what you guys think. I think this character design is just dandy. I love it. All right, and now onto the figure. I love this too. Number one thing NECA did right on this figure is it is a flat finish. If I can say without stuttering, that would be better, but I couldn't. A flat finish all the way around. At best, matte. It is so much better looking having a matte finish as opposed to being glossy and plasticky and cheap looking. And a lot of this is bare plastic. And yes, you can make bare plastic look good. It doesn't have to look like this. The finish is just gorgeous. The second thing that they did well is there's a wash on all of the brown parts. It's not on the turtle parts, which is, I think, a nice touch because he wouldn't need that. He has the line work on there to make him look comic-y, but the wash mixed, especially with the black line work and the different shades of brown, it is gorgeous. It looks so good. The wraps. Let's look at the wraps. It's such a basic paint job, but it goes so far. Oh, and by the way, this is 35 bucks. It's only 35 bucks. Hasbro wants you to believe that they have to charge you $35 for a repainted bare body for Spider-Man. This is all new sculpt, and it's covered in paint. And it has all the articulation, and it has a buttload of accessories. Stop being lied to, guys. This is incredible. If you want to compare $35 across companies, you're not gonna beat this. This is nuts. And it's a whole separate thing with Bandai and their $35 releases to get you into the line. That's a marketing strategy. And there's a lot of repaints going on there. So I get it. You could argue, hey, a $35 Goku from SH Figure Arts, there's better things to it, sure. But overall, this has more value to it still. Just in terms of paint and all of the parts and everything. This is gorgeous. It looks so damn good. They nailed this. The aesthetic is beautiful. The sculpt, the paint, it is exactly what it needed to be. Not perfect, I mean, practically speaking. I have some glossy spots here. I'm guessing that's from packaging, but maybe it's lube. I don't know. Still, as far as a mass-produced figure, this is what you want. 9.9 out of 10 for the aesthetic. As for accessories, he comes with the neutral head that's on him in the package, then you get the yelling head. Both look great. That yelling head, I don't know what happened with NECA over the last couple of days, but the Karai figure had gorgeous faces. This one does too. Even in the mouth. I just dropped it on the floor. The mouth is incredible. These heads look great. For hands, he has the 2 fist hands, he has the 2 open hands, 2 gripping hands, and then 2 different type of gripping hands. Plenty of spread there, that's good. For weapons, he's got the kunai, he's got an arrow, he's got his 2 sais, and these have to be the best sculpted sais ever. They're actually pointy and sharp looking. They look like weapons rather than kids' toys. That's awesome. And I do believe they fit in his back. Let's see. They do. Not the most practical thing in real life, but they do work, so that's good. Excellent spread of accessories, 9 out of 10. Could have more, sure, but that's pretty darn good. And now it's time for the articulation. I'm telling you right now, if this thing even has decent articulation, it's gonna be on the top 10 list. This thing is gorgeous. All right, let's hope it actually poses really well. I don't know. Does the banana rotate? It does. It rotates. That's fine. I think that's fine. A ball peg's okay. You can make it stick out to the back if you wanted, but I do think the rotation will be perfectly sufficient, and that's good. I'll take that. It's better than being fixed. All right, for the head, he can look up, he can look down, he can lean side to side, he can rotate. You've got everything you need there without any gapping. They could have introduced some gapping to give you better range, but you really don't need better. That's going to be enough. This is all soft. It's connected from front to back, so we'll see how that interacts with the articulation. Shoulders. This is fresh out of the box, by the way. Oh man, I forgot to tell you guys. My hands look like this if you notice that I'm all cut up. My hands look like this because I just finished all the electrical work, all the wiring and device installation in my basement. So don't worry, I didn't punch through glass or something. I just cut myself on a bunch of tiny wires. So yeah, okay, full rotation in the shoulder, that's fine. Bringing the arm up. You get to horizontal, no problem at all. This one's a little stiffer. Let's see if I can get this one to go. Oh, it's very stiff. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not going at all. I'll have to mess with that. Okay, well, that's what reviews are for. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow gives you actually better range than I expected, having a floating elbow pad, so that's pretty good. I'll take that. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Do the gripping hands have a vertical hinge? They don't. NECA, why? You know to do that. You've done it before. That's a problem. Give them vertical hinges for hands that are meant to hold weapons. All right, for the torso, there's some kind of joint in there, because this is a separate piece from the inner green part, but you're not really going to do much with that, so don't expect much going on there. Why is the shoulder not moving? I need it to move. Oh, and this is stuck up here. Okay, we do have some flaws. Like I said, it's not perfect. Oh, I'm going to have to mess with that. It does not want to go. All right, for the hips, we have standard ball sockets. And you can kind of see in there, hopefully you can see there's a little like green circle. That's where the legs and everything connect, and so that's going to technically move around in there, but it doesn't really afford much. But bringing the hips out to the side, pretty far, not all the way, but pretty good going forward, pretty limited. You're not going to get a ton of range out of that. Going back, very limited also. You do get a thigh swivel there. That's okay. For the knees, they swivel at the top, and you get your hinge there, which is not my favorite. It creates gaps, and it's not really a necessary joint. I don't like the way they executed that, and this one's kind of loose. Not like floppy loose, but it's not tight. So that's kind of annoying the way they did that. Bottom joint is just your standard knee joint. Luckily, you can hide a lot of it with the knee pad. So you're going to get a decent amount of range out of this guy. It's just not, I think it's a little overthought, over-engineered in the knee. It's not as well executed as it could be. So there's that. And then for the ankles, really good range going back, really good range going forward. And you have your ankle rocker. I don't like the angle that the ankle joint is cut at. It's not, you see how the foot is going this way, and then the joint is going off at a slightly different direction. That's kind of annoying, but it's not a real big deal. So as expected, his articulation was the weakest part of the figure. Is it terrible? No, I have one stuck shoulder. That's probably going to be hit or miss. And a few joints that are a little bit loose and some that don't work all that well. Basically what we should have expected. I would prefer it be much better. I'm only going to give the articulation a 7. you don't have the stuck shoulder, you should be okay. It should pose pretty well, but definitely the weakest part of the figure, unfortunately. But again, that was to be expected. So, final verdict for this guy. It's not a perfect release. It's only a 7 in articulation. It definitely could have been a lot better, but really good aesthetic and definitely solid accessories. I am personally thrilled with this as a collector, and as a reviewer, it is a very good release. Because the articulation is fairly limited, I'm going to knock down the overall rating to only a 9, but that's a 9 with a strong recommendation of getting it because it looks that damn good. It is easily one of the most appealing releases NECA has put out, maybe ever, and I'm thinking right now it's going to be on the top 10 list. I'm not going to say it's for sure going to be number 1 or anything like that, but this paint job and the overall aesthetic, there's so much going on for 35 bucks. It looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it from me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you really should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and literally thousands. I think we're close to 5,000 videos on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.